All right, you guys, we did it. After years of budgeting and saving, we were finally able to pull the trigger and purchase the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. But it's completely ruined. So before we walk you through why the 4Runner is completely ruined, let me tell you why 5th gen instead of just waiting for the 6th. Well, we did wait. We waited and waited for information about the 6th gen to be released, and it just kept getting pushed out and pushed out. And we were doing a little bit of research / following YouTubers. I think Dave from Automotive Press that has experience and I guess good insight for what the 6th gen could look like. It was really the changes in the powertrain that kind of swayed us away towards just continuing to wait. So one, it was the need, knowing that we were going to get pregnant and have a little one. So we did need something sooner rather than later. But then the other aspect of it was the powertrain. Or the other aspect of it was the fact that the 5th gen has been out for 10 plus years. The powertrain and engine systems is tried and true. If you look up any videos that talk about the 4Runner, overall great reviews. The negatives are all around the outdated electronics, which I personally don't have an issue with, so that was a non-issue for me. I more cared about the reliable powertrain and engine system. Dave from Automotive Press also had his speculations about what the 6th gen will consist of. A lot of rumors about PHEV, which I think might have already been confirmed, and I don't want a PHEV, so again, swaying me more towards the 5th gen. And lastly, Scotty approves it. So can't go wrong. For those reasons, we thought the 5th gen was a solid bet. And so far, we're 6 months, a little more than 6 months into owning the 4Runner, and no complaints other than the wrap. So we knew from the get-go that we wanted a 4Runner TRD Pro. But we were completely open to purchasing a couple model years prior so that we could save some money. So when we were working with the dealer, we found that vehicles that were only 2 to 3 model years older were about $6,000 cheaper, and that's taking into consideration that they had 60,000 plus miles on them, and you were forfeiting some of the warranty benefits. So with that in mind, we went ahead and purchased the 2023. And we thought we would just be able to pick it up relatively soon after that. But it became very obvious that the TRD Pros were just not circulating in the market, and we needed to be added to a wait list essentially. So we placed the order in October of 2022, waited several months, and this is with us communicating and following up with the dealership every couple weeks. Hey, do you guys have one in? So we were open about the color. However, when it came to accessories, there were a few that needed to be included, non-negotiables for us, but because they were accessories, they were all installed at the port, so it didn't matter and it wouldn't impact the ordering time or the delivery timeline. So some of those features were the center console safe, which is super handy, especially with us being, gun owners and whatnot. The running boards, the TRD Pro roof rack, The con to wanting first available is that we did notice that the dealer, it must have been the dealer, I don't know, I'm just speculating here, but they did add on a bunch of things that we didn't want. So we didn't order, but we ended up getting this sliding rear cargo compartment thing, sliding cargo door. It also came with like the ball and hitch thing that we didn't ask for. Oh, we did like the black emblem, so this we did request. It ended up coming with edge guards for the door that we didn't ask for, and also film guard on the front hood, which we didn't ask for. And when we first purchased it, it also came with this ugly pinstripe, which all cars, for whatever reason, they all came with a dumb pinstripe.
Part of the dealer markup.
It was part of the dealer markup with the nitrogen in the tire, even though air is composed of 82% nitrogen.
I was way off.
What else? The LO GPS, that was also a part of the dealer markup. So I'd say between the pinstripe, the edge guard, so they charged us twice. I remember we had to talk to them like, hey, didn't it come with edge guard per the Monroney sticker? And I guess not the Monroney sticker, but like the itemized receipt thing. So I don't even remember if they ended up taking that off. We were so like, just give us our car by that point. But the LO GPS, the nitrogen in the tire, and the edge guard, those three things ended up being roughly an extra, what, $4,000 or $5,000? But alas, here we are. Overall, very happy with the 4Runner itself. The nightmare, however, begins with the wrap. As we mentioned, we wanted first come, first serve, or first available for the 4Runner, and green is not an option. It's wrapped green. So as for the color, we're very happy with the color because we did pick it specifically from like a color palette. So this isn't a stock Avery color, I believe is the wrap. So we were able to specify the specific shade of green that we wanted. You can see in terms of the wrapping detail itself, there's already a couple edges where it's peeling and rolling. Mirrors and doors are notorious for that, but there are other areas of the wrap where we were not really satisfied. But really our nightmare with the wrapping process begins with the interior and the execution of the wrap installation. So in order to wrap the doors, they did need to remove the door trim panel. And I'd say if we didn't ask for the mirror, they probably would have left it intact.
The door handles.
Oh, well, the door handles, if we wouldn't have asked for the door handles. If we would have maybe said no door handles, no mirror, they would have left the door trim panel intact. So maybe that's one thing that we would do differently, right? But as for the door trim panels, all 4 doors had damage to them. All 4 doors had pick marks. So when they were de-trimming the door trim panel, they used a pick, and it has a lot of just pick marks when they really should have used a fiber stick. So this particular door was the most frustrating. You can see that the matte pocket light isn't working. That's because they broke the bulb. You can see that here I am closing the door. So when Rob got home and went to lock the car, you could hear a loud grinding noise. So it was very evident that there was something going wrong with the door latching system. To come home after very frustrating interaction with the shop, hours, I'd say I dropped Rob off before Roxy's training class, so that must have been around 5 o'clock. And he didn't get home until 9. So that's 4 hours of dealing with BS with this particular wrap shop to come back and closing the door, the locking mechanism is damaged or it's not functioning. So he has to bring out all the lights, right, and disassemble the door trim panel, figure out what's going on, and they misassembled the cable in the door. And we'll cue video. Once this was red flag number 1. Like, oh man, the door is misassembled, what else? So then Rob starts going through and seeing all of these defects, and all right, door number 1. Door number 2. With this door, you can see that when they were cutting the wrap, they used a razor blade and they cut right into the paint, cutting past the clear coat. And there are several markings like this where we have gouge marks now, like randomly in the car because of their poor execution. We did talk to another wrap person, and I was explaining to them our experience, and they were just dumbfounded by it. They said that they never should have even used a razor blade on the vehicle, that when they're cutting the wrap, that there's a technique that they use with string so that they avoid scenarios just like that. So that alone to him was an indication that they weren't wrapping professionals, even though they advertise themselves as such on their Instagram and their Google reviews all seem to paint them in that light. Then the other thing that was wrong was this door is when we were opening and closing it and even driving it, we noticed the rattle. So took off the door trim panel and we ended up finding the razor blade that was used inside. Cue photo, cue video, cue evidence. So gouge markings, razor blade left in the door. If we take it around, even when they were disassembling parts, there were score marks on some of the new component, or I guess it's a brand new 4Runner. When we gave it to this shop, it had less than 3,000 miles on it, and we can add timestamps to verify that. This thing doesn't even have 5,000 miles on it, and we've had it for, let's see, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, like 7 months. So
You're still rocking Subaru.
because I'm still, daily commuting Subaru. But a lot of the parts, they didn't wrap them or protect them when they were disassembling them. You could tell that they just tossed them in the shop and they didn't take care of it. And it's very frustrating given how much money we had spent on the 4Runner itself, but then also the wrap. The wrap was a little over $5,000, so very frustrating. The lack of professionalism and attention to detail that this shop demonstrated. This store, the main issue with this side is the wheel flares here were all busted off. So these are removable parts. And what the shop ended up doing was just breaking them off instead of properly unsecuring them and then wrapping them. So what we did in the meantime is we did just put a little bit of adhesive and glue it back onto the car so it doesn't look completely bad. but we do have, again, photos, cute photo showing that they broke the part off. Yeah, so with the doors, it was just a mixed bag of things that we found, from the cable, the door handle cable being improperly assembled, the gouge markings from the razor blade that was used, the door electrical components weren't properly plugged in or secured, or the bulbs themselves were damaged. So just very, very poor work out of the shop. So my biggest takeaway and piece of advice for you all in the audience would be to vet the shops that you're working with very closely. Like I mentioned, this particular wrap shop had a strong Instagram presence, and they had high-end vehicles. They had Broncos, Corvettes, G-Wagons, R8s. They presented themselves very professional. I also went and checked the Google reviews, and they had over 100 reviews, and they were like 4.5+ stars. So strong Instagram presence, good Google reviews gave me the confidence to select this particular wrap shop over other local wrap shops that were, quite frankly, cheaper. We thought that they would execute a more professional job given the higher end price point. So one of the things that we noticed just from having to go back and forth with the shop, we noticed that a lot of the vehicles that were nicely portrayed on their Instagram were also in the parking lot. So that was part of the facade. A lot of the cars that they worked on belonged to them. If I had to bet, a lot of the Google reviews were also submitted by those friends that they were doing work for. So, like, I don't ever want to feel like I got the wool pulled over my eyes, you know, so now I'm kind of interested to learn how to do it myself. So maybe there might be a Super Ruby wrapping tutorial video, who knows? Stay tuned to find out. Other than that, thank you for watching. We do plan on making a few upgrades to the 4Runner. A few of them just right off the bat. I wanted to add the bumper winch, the lights at the top, the roof rack lights, extra gas compartment, either upgrading the gas compartment, or I actually like how it looks on the side, the ladder. I don't know, just making it look very sporty. So if you guys have any ideas for what you want to see or what you think would look really cool on the 4Runner, feel free to give us a suggestion in the comments down below. Also looking for a cool name, leaning towards Jade. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. All right, and before you click off, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, smash that like button, and subscribe so you can keep up with me and Jade ? Until next time, see you guys.